Hey guys.
Alright, there we go.
What's up, Greg?
I can remember sitting in a movie theater several years ago and being completely baffled by the teaser for Pixar's latest film, Up.
Afternoon.
Okay, that just happened, I guess. Some old man ties a bunch of balloons to his house and it just flies away? What is going on here? Really, the only kind of story potential I can see from that imagery is this. But then the actual movie was released, and what did we get?
That emotional roller coaster and subsequent gut punch of it. It set up the wonderful tone of that movie.
A man going on an adventure in the name of his late wife, where he meets and has to fight off one of his childhood heroes, and gains the family that he never had. Boy, do I love going into a movie thinking it's going to suck only to be taken completely by surprise. And of course, Video Bring Kiddo just had to rear its ugly head and make an Up ripoff.
In a lot of ways, What's Up is just like Up. They go up in the air in a house, and that's pretty much the only similarity I can figure out. I guess I would say that What's Up is exactly like Up if you took all the heartwarming moments out of Up and replaced them with plot holes and racism.
This is What's Up.
What's Up?
What's up?
Balloon to the rescue.
What's Up? Balloon to the Rescue first came out in 2009, the same year as the Pixar original Up. What that tells me is that they ripped off the premise from trailers, rather than the movie itself. So I don't think we can expect an emotional gut punch or an instant classic here.
The movie wastes no time showing us how much it's gonna suck. Not only is the title grammatically incorrect, since I'm pretty sure the What's Up part is supposed to have a question mark at the end of it, but this looks more like a production company logo than it does a title screen. Because the best way to rip off a Pixar movie is to make its titles look like the old Warner Brothers video logo. And the subtitle here is Balloon to the Rescue? What, is the balloon the hero in this movie? And why even bother with a subtitle in the first place? Shouldn't What's Up be enough for the title? I guess they're already paving the way for the next What's Up movie. What's Up? Dawn of Justice.
This movie starts off with a TV broadcast about the main characters of this movie. It explains that they're a family of monster-fighting scientists.
I can't say I expected that. It introduces the main cast of characters, which includes a couple of old men, a young woman called Amanda, and an annoying kid called Guto.
Yeah, it seems that this Up ripoff is also within the same continuity as Video Bring Kiddo's Monsters vs. Aliens ripoff. I guess this is their pathetic attempt at world building before they release their Avengers ripoff, where the little panda fighter and the monster chasers team up to battle the Gladiformers.
Dr. Crumb is a visionary. He is a warrior in search of the highest human ideals. But he's not just about spectacular contributions to science. He also happens to be the uncle of the lovely and most eligible young lady in our city, Amanda.
So at first I thought this show was like a news program or like some kind of 60 Minutes interview or documentary about this really interesting family of monster-fighting scientists. I thought it was gonna talk about like the societal ramifications of monsters invading Earth, but then it took this weird like TMZ route or Hollywood Fix route where they were like, and also, they've got a pretty teenage daughter who's single. A little bit of a weird aspect of the family to focus on, for a multitude of reasons. Fighting monsters from outer space is probably the most interesting thing that could possibly happen. And then there's this like family of genius scientists that can fight them. That's enough for the news to talk about for, I don't know, ever probably? So I don't know why they talked about that for 30 seconds and then got bored and was like, but hubba, look at their niece, dude. That is one eligible bachelorette. And also, she's 15.
Maintaining her habitual discretion, Amanda avoids direct contact with the press and says that her only true love is science. However, insiders say she's been seen flirting with an actor in the local high school musical.
Wow, Amanda, a teenage girl, is flirting with someone else who goes to her high school? Now that's some juicy gossip. Forget about aliens, forget about monsters, forget about science, all that. What'd that Amanda do? So, kind of creepy that this new show seems to have like a really deep interest in what Amanda's up to, this like high school teenager, but also not terribly unrealistic, I suppose.
Anyhow, it turns out that the annoying kid is watching himself and his crew on TV. Well, that's a bit rude.
How is it that you always seem to tune into these gossip shows? They're horrible.
And you certainly know horrible, don't you?
And here are the inventors of the intergalactic transmission antenna, the famous doctors Karam and Zooks.
Lately, people seem to just want to know about the monster chasers and forget that we're serious scientists.
I don't know, man. That seems pretty serious to me. You hunt monsters that are gonna, like, kill people. It seems like pretty important work, dude. Don't sell yourself short. I mean, the monsters are hurting people, right? They're not just like peaceful monsters. All people want to do is talk about how we kill these monsters. These big, peaceful monsters from other planets. But honestly, we just do that shit for the goofs. Just because we like killing them. They don't pose any threat to us. But don't forget, we're serious scientists too. We do shit that actually matters.
We've developed a hyperlight jet with a force strong enough to lift a house, as you'll see here.
Oh, it's Mike Pollock again. Tegman.
When I reviewed Ratatouille, some people seem to be a little accusing towards Mike Pollock for taking these roles, but really, a job's a job. You can't blame the guy for doing something that he gets paid for. So yeah, don't be harsh on Mr. Pollock, he's just doing his job. So essentially, these two science goons have turned their house and lab into a flying machine.
So how does this hyperlight power jet work, Doctor?
You see, it's simply a rock of super energy.
This shorter scientist called Dr. Crumb has absolutely zero tact, and basically gives away all of his scientific secrets on TV, much to the dismay of his partner Dr. Zooks, whose name is spelled like this, believe it or not.
That one's a Scrabble winner.
And given the way that they bicker and the fact that they live together, I can only assume that partner has more than one meaning.
I don't even want to imagine what awful things would happen if it got into the wrong hands.
Oh, we certainly...
It's gonna get into the wrong hands, isn't it?
We certainly wouldn't want that, but can we ask, for example, about the powers this super-energized rock has?
Oh yes, we shouldn't talk about the powers that this rock has, but can I instead ask you, what kind of powers does this rock have?
Well, one of its most nefarious features is it can, for example, hypnotize the entire world.
I think that's enough.
Huh? What kind of rock is this? I thought it was like radioactive or something. Like it has a lot of energy in it. That's how they described it, because it can like make things fly. So I assumed it was just sort of like uranium or something like that. But it can hypnotize people too? Imagine if other power sources had like crazy side effects like that. Like be careful about gasoline. It can power your car, but if you inhale too much, you'll learn the ability to speak to fish. Solar panels are great for the environment. They're really great for cutting down on emissions. But one potential downside is that if you stare too deeply into them, you'll see your future in their reflection. On a really sunny day, you'll even see how you die. So be careful. This is just how these things work. It's science. That's science, you know? Sometimes random shit just happens. That's the slogan for science.
Anyway, back to Zero Tact Guy.
Nobody knows that you have to activate it with a secret password. Lavender? No one says lavender anymore.
Can we change the subject, please?
Okay, I'll stop talking about this super rock. Instead, let's conduct the real experiment for today. The effects of bullets on human skulls. Dr. Dumb gives a demonstration of how the rock can make his house levitate, but Dr. Douche doesn't approve.
Way up there, the atmosphere doesn't have enough oxygen for kids. Houses aren't aerodynamic.
Then why did you rig your house to fly like that?
You blew it, Crumb. Next scene shows the Monster Chaser crew having tea in their kitchen.
And get used to that. They drink a lot of tea in this movie.
You saw a housefly. Maybe I should get the fly swatter.
We also learn that Amanda really wants to go to Paris, and coincidentally,
we later find the doctors and their kids being visited by some French stereotype named Jean-Pierre.
Delacroix.
I am Jean-Pierre Delacroix, the great Amazon adventurer.
For some reason, what's outside their front door is just another room. If you walk outside of their house, you're just in a room.
Excuse me, pardon-moi, is this perhaps the home of Monster Chasers?
That's right.
Oh no.
I'm sorry just to be dropping in like this, but I urgently need your services.
Oh god, dear god, no.
yeah, a French bloke turns up and apparently needs their help with a monster, but it's just so unbearably French, in such a stereotypical way.
Would you like some tea?
No, merci, I am French, we drink wine.
Like, he's a beret and a striped jumper short of a full set.
The French thing is just gonna be like a fun little plot device for the writers of this movie to use really outdated stereotypes of French people. You know that classic stereotype where if you ask a French person if they want some tea, they'll get mad at you and say, "No, we drink wine! In France, we drink wine! Only. No water, no tea, just wine."
Basically, Jean-Pierre, and yes, his name really is Jean-Pierre, wants them to go to the Amazon forest, and they deliberate on whether or not they can actually do that.
Besides, the Amazon is no small potato. Potato?
Potato?
Potato! Potato?
Potato.
But before they object to hunting it down, this kid Guto here sets a course for adventure. And they can't just turn the house around because it's a Video Brinqueta movie, meaning that everyone is a freaking idiot.
What's going on?
When we arrive there, you'll all be in for a little surprise. I can't wait to hypnotize as many people as possible.
Yeah, say it a little louder. I don't think they heard you.
So this is something Jean-Pierre does throughout the film. He'll like explain his evil master plan in very close proximity to people who he's trying to trick. I don't know how they don't hear him. It seems like a very silly thing to do as a villain. I also like how not concrete his plan is. He's not like, soon I will have the rock and I'll be able to hypnotize the entire world. And then they'll do my bidding and make me king of the world. Instead, he's just like, I can't wait to hypnotize just as many people as I can. I sure hope I can hypnotize a decent amount of people. And when I do, well then I'll just have to figure it out from there.
And of course, flying to the Amazon is so quick and uneventful that they get there after fading to black.
The crew finally arrives at the Amazon and goes into the cave where there's supposedly a monster, and they're all wearing Ghostbusters jumpsuits here. Although Amanda just looks strange to me right now. Mostly her arms. She has like Half-Life zombie arms, it's gross.
I'm not so sure it was a good idea to bring the laboratory here. Can we go back now?
Hey, great idea. If you go back now, then we won't have to watch this movie anymore.
Jean-Pierre stays outside to keep watch, but really he's just, up to his evil shit.
This is it! Let's go deep into the cave! Le monstro is horrible, and you're going to find out just how horrible.
Slowest exit in the world.
My plan is working perfectly.
I like how quickly they recover from being unbalanced. They're just like, whoa, whoa, whoa! It's fine, we're fine.
After Jean-Pierre traps them inside a cave with some dynamite that isn't there, he finds the super rock and tries to get it to work.
Finally, it's my turn. My turn to put the whole world to sleep. Perhaps they'll do nothing, perhaps they'll blow kisses. I'm a genius.
What is this dude's motive anyway? I think they just completely forgot to make the main villain of the movie have some kind of motive or even a plan. He says he's gonna put the whole world to sleep, then he's like, maybe they'll do nothing or maybe they'll blow kisses. I don't know. He doesn't even know what he's gonna do once he accomplishes his master plan. Like, his master plan is just to do it, and then he's like, after that, fuck if I know. Imagine if Thanos from the Avengers was this poorly thought out. I finally have all the stones. No! And now, I'm gonna figure out what to do. I could give every mouse a top hat. Wait, you don't know what you're gonna do yet? Hey, clearly I was busy collecting the stones, okay? Yeah, but then why did you even start collecting them in the first place? I thought I would think of something by now, okay? But I procrastinated for too long, and now here we are. Honestly, I feel like the top hat idea is pretty good. I don't know why you're trashing it. Maybe I could make every mouse look like a little businessman. They could have a little monocle and cane too. I don't know. You're so dumb. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You know what? Actually, I just thought of a great idea. How about I use my powers to make everyone be a little bit nicer to me? How's that for an idea? Oh my God, you're crying now? Honestly, I'm feeling a little bit attacked. That makes sense. We were all just trying to kill you moments ago. Wait, I got it. Oh no, fuck. I'm gonna make everyone blow kisses.
But his outrageous accent keeps him from saying the magic word properly.
Le vendeur! Maybe it's my accent, perhaps? Le vendeur!
You know, that's actually kind of a funny joke. I'll give him that.
And then some guy in a hot air balloon just happens to drift by, and it turns out that Jean-Pierre actually can hypnotize people now. So instead of taking this guy's Frenchness and turning it into a plot point, they go ahead and keep it meaningless just like it was before. Point for consistency, I guess.
Meanwhile, the crew are trapped and helpless in the cave, although I don't actually think I care. I mean, I just want to know what the evil French guy's up to.
I'm a genius!
I leave for 1 second.
Jean-Pierre drops the energized rock, which creates a portal to another dimension and releases monsters onto the world.
And they're the scariest monsters you can possibly imagine. These monsters, you don't even want to hear the sounds they make. The sounds they make are bone-chilling, life-changing, pants-wetting sounds. I'm a monster.
And of course, Jean-Pierre doesn't react to them in any way at all. It's not like the animators have to make their characters have actual performances, right? 2 of the monsters fly off, but before the 3rd one can eat Jean-Pierre, the monster chasers contain it without any explanation of how they got out of the cave.
I escaped somehow. Let's go.
I think maybe the explosion freed them? Whatever. These idiots still don't suspect Jean-Pierre of any wrongdoing though. I mean, he was carrying something that he definitely should not have had that can be used for hypnosis. It's a bit of a giveaway.
Now what? Without the rock, how are we gonna get out of here? Help me! I've got an idea!
Oh no, not the balloon.
Flying isn't to be taken lightly.
So yeah, they used the balloon to fly the lab onwards.
Why, I had no idea that the combined weight of a house and an observatory is exactly the same as the baskets that people attach to hot air balloons. This movie is teaching me so much.
They capture one of the monsters and it's just floating outside of the house like this in a little bubble, which I think is pretty silly looking, just a monster like on the side of the house. They also used the guy's hot air balloon, you know, the guy that crashed, to help the house float because the rock doesn't have any energy anymore. I don't remember them saying what happened to the guy in the hot air balloon. Like what, did they just leave him in the Amazon? Because we don't see him for the rest of the movie. Probably because they didn't give him a weird nationality that they could make fun of. So they were like, well, get him out of here. He's boring.
Ah, I never would have thought flying in a balloon would be so much fun. And so stable, too.
It's also a really good thing that there just happens to be no wind at this altitude. Boy, being this high up with no safety railing is the safest thing possible. Dr. Dumbass discovers that one of the monsters is attacking the Eiffel Tower, and they set a course for Paris. And how did they know that the monster was in Paris?
I just put the words attack and monster into Google, and voila! It was actually really easy.
Huh, funny. I didn't know that Google looked like a black screen with green text on it. Maybe they're celebrating the anniversary of Basic Code.
We then come across one of the monsters bending the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, I don't think metal works that way. F-, see me after class.
And they capture it immediately upon their arrival. I think the movie knows that nobody cares about what's going on at this point, so why even bother putting in a big epic action scene right here as they take down the monster? Jean-Pierre convinces Amanda that they should be the ones leading the charge in catching the monsters, and because women in movies have to be complete morons when French accents are concerned, she agrees.
But Gunto won't shut up. But don't worry guys, Jean-Pierre's got a quick fix for that.
Did you understand what he said?
Don't say a word, Gunto.
Would you like a candy, Gunto?
Yeah, he drugs him. Jean-Pierre straight up drugs this kid. You know that moment when you're trying to Netflix and chill with Bae, but her stupid little twerp brother won't shut up, so you drug the little boy? Just sneak a little bit of horse tranquilizer into his ice cream, and then it's Netflix and chill time, baby.
I'm very horrified that this is happening in a kid's film. The sleeping drug is then used on the 2 scientists so Amanda and Jean-Pierre can capture the last monster, which is terrorizing the Great Wall of China. And this monster is playing hopscotch.
Alright.
Because there is nothing else in China anywhere. Although I guess it is kind of a good thing that this is the only Chinese stereotype that the movie throws at us. Actually, the people of China themselves in this movie are depicted in a manner that is very respectful and completely oh go to hell movie! Yeah, because Jean-Pierre breaks his laser gun that's supposed to contain the monster, he and Amanda have to rely on the help of some random Chinese guy who's tinted yellow, wearing a t-shirt with noodles printed on it, and carrying a camera with him for no other reason than because Chinese people always carry cameras.
Oh boy, is this where we're going?
Arigato! arigato.
No problem, but arigato is Japanese. I'm Chinese. My name is Ching Ling. Hello.
His name is Ching Ling.
Another A+ character from What's Up.
Yeah, you had to take pictures because no one in one of the most densely populated countries on the planet is around to witness a giant monster attacking the only man-made structure that's visible from space. Dr. Dumb shows up and gives them a bunch of party balloons so they can make their escape. Party balloons which they shouldn't even have since it was a hot air balloon that brought them here. And of course they do get away, since the laws of physics were apparently written on a magnadoodle. And how do they capture this monster? By dressing up that Guto kid as a giant cookie, and leading the monster into a cage that's big enough to maybe contain one of its feet, which is suspended by a single balloon that's so small that you can't even see it. Ignoring the obvious questions of how the hell this is supposed to work, why would they have a cookie costume for Guto for just such an occasion when they've never let him help in their monster chasing before this point? But it turns out that they actually have a shrinking ray to bring the monster down to size. Why do they have the energy to power a shrinking ray, but they don't have the energy to power their house levitation engine?
So, what will the French bloke get up to now?
We'll find out in time, but first we need some more banter apparently.
Ah, how I just love traveling by balloon.
Oh yeah, those two are totally married.
I'm going to have a nap. I'm very, very tired. I'll see you in the morning. Good night, mon chéri. My sweet little Amanda.
Man, I really feel for Amanda here. This dude just won't shut the fuck up. She looks just so like beaten down and defeated, and he just won't stop talking. Either that or they just forgot to record Amanda's lines for this scene, which I feel like is equally possible. So they made her just like staring wistfully out the window. I keep comparing this movie in my head to the actual movie Up, just imagining if these things happened in Up. Listen, Russell, I know we got off on the wrong foot on this adventure, but I think what I've come to realize is, I'm just not used to taking care of someone. I've lived alone for so long, but, I think that you're really what I've been needing all this time. You're like a grandson to me. I can't imagine living life without you. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I love you, Russell, okay? And I miss my wife, and there's some character development going on there, too. Also, are you okay? Because you haven't said anything in the past 2 minutes. You've just been staring off into space, actually staring right into that camera. I don't know why is there a camera filming us? You've just been looking directly into the lens of a camera. There's a camera guy, a whole crew, actually, I just noticed. Are we in a movie? Is this a movie? Is this the movie Up? Is this the movie Up, guys? Hey, guys, it's me, the old man from Up. I just figured out that I'm in a movie.
By chance, it turns out that the Chinese guy got trapped in with the monsters.
When we arrive, we'll get you out of there, my friend. Don't worry.
Sure.
Hey, what's he doing in there? Why is he in the bubble with the monsters? How come everyone else gets to be in the house, but the guy from China has to be in the bubble?
I don't want that Chinese guy in there with my monsters. He didn't even say anything when I showed him the cookie.
Did you try showing him a fortune cookie? That could work.
What do you mean, Unc?
You couldn't make this up.
And they take the monsters back to the Amazon. But Jean-Pierre uses the super rock, which has regained its energy somehow, to hypnotize them all.
Lavender.
And he figured out how to say lavender.
There's nothing like a little practice.
And the worst part is now he's had plenty of time to figure out what he's gonna do when he hypnotizes everybody. So there's no telling what he's got planned now.
Guto, blow kisses.
Oh.
And the crew gets hypnotized, apart from Guto. I think it's something to do with the sunglasses, but it's not very well explained, so who cares?
Okay, I don't really know what's going on here. So everybody is hypnotized except Gunto. He was wearing sunglasses, so I guess that protected him from being hypnotized, but he's trying to pretend like he is. So Jean-Pierre is telling him to blow kisses, but Gunto's just going like, ugh! And that's how he's pretending to be hypnotized? Like, what is he trying to do? Is he trying to fart? Is he trying to poo?
Guto, I ordered you. Kisses.
Okay, that time it looked like he did poo. It looked like he was surprised because he pooped. Is that what they think blowing kisses is?
And he knocks the rock out of Jean-Pierre's hand while he's gloating in the worst place you could ever gloat at. Our villain, ladies and gentlemen.
Anyway, the monsters are freed, but Guto makes the rock drop again, so another portal opens up. Guto then tries to save the day by leading them into the portal, but sadly he can't quite outsmart the monsters now. They've caught on to his plan. And this is just silly. Luckily, Ching Ling is around to help out, although Guto refers to him as Beijing and China.
Beijing! China!
China.
And yeah, that's kinda racist. I don't think you're allowed to do that.
I promise to give you some moo goo gai pan when we get back to the house!
Even he's tired of the underhanded stereotyping and racism in this movie. It's like, geez, who the hell wrote this?
The flash from the camera actually seems to break the hypnotic trance, and the Monster Chaser team is back in action. Oh, and remember the gear-up sequence from Ratatouille? Well, this movie has one of those as well, with a snazzy background.
They really have been improving.
They trap Jean-Pierre along with the monsters, and they throw him into the other dimension with the monsters too. They could have easily just shrunk him down and keep him in a shoebox until they get back to America where they could hand him over to the authorities, but that works too, I guess.
Boy, that was too much! Seeing the face of that Frenchman when he went into the other dimension.
Yes, I know. But it serves him right, that con artist.
Even so, I think the punishment was a little harsh.
What else could we have done? Take him to the police and say, "Take this man, he just hypnotized us and wanted to take over the world."
Of course!
Jeez, what is it with these movies and giving the villains horribly disproportionate punishments? The rats in Ratatouille get sent to a lab, and this slightly shady Frenchman gets sent to a monster dimension, where he'll probably get eaten or murdered in some horrific fashion.
Well, that's kinda horrifying.
And the day is saved, thank God.
Well then, that's good, because I want to introduce you to my new boyfriend, Chen Ling, the cute Chinese gentleman.
Hello, everybody. But did you really have to pick someone who might be smarter than me?
Wow! You mean he could be that smart? Huh, I thought he was just gonna make us some dinner!
Stop! Please stop! Holy shit.
What a sad, sad fate for me.
That's how I feel after watching this movie.
So that was What's Up? Balloon to the Rescue. And this is a movie that could use some rescuing of its own. The animation isn't as offensive as it is in other Video Brinquedo movies, but it's still pretty bad.
Okay, but really, it's not the worst thing to come out of Video Brinquedo. Even though it's mostly awful, there are a couple of funny lines, and with a bit of script doctoring and some decent animation, this could probably at least have been mildly entertaining.
The character designs have a bit more structure to them, and we get to see a little more detail in the backgrounds, but the character animation itself in this is just as stiff and lifeless as ever. The plot's a complete joke, the characters are all idiots, and the science is all over the place. And no, I don't care if this movie was made for little kids. When your movie stars a bunch of scientists, you're supposed to make them actually know a thing or two about science. And where Pixar's Up knows how to make the youngest generation connect with the oldest generation, which is always pretty damn impressive any way you slice it, this movie trying to rip it off doesn't even try to get its audience to connect with anyone. Outside of internet reviewers looking for something to tear into, I can't imagine anyone watching this piece of crap for more than 2 minutes.
What I can say for What's Up is that it tried. It's not good, but it could be a lot worse. That doesn't excuse the fact that it's mostly terrible, though. I mean, if this was the first movie I'd seen from these guys, I wouldn't rate it highly, but in comparison to some of their other works, this isn't actually half bad.
This movie is driving me insane. Luckily, it is over.
So what's the moral this time? Well, I suppose it's don't trust a French person and don't drug your family. That's a reasonable core message, really.